You can go and turn off and turn on the light sources and see, okay, this is the amount of light that I get at this point, and this is the addition between this, and that. So you can see what is the effect of a skylight separately, then what is the effect of the right window that you have, the other side window that you have, and for all of them you run one simulation. This is the post-processing from the same simulation, which I think is very interesting. So there was a point that when we released Ladybug for Dynamo, I posted this graph, which I usually use in my presentation, which is the hype graph, right? So people get excited, and then that's the point that you hate your life, and you think nothing works. So when I posted this, I was hoping this not to happen, but it really happened. I was hoping like this time, because we learned we don't go here, we just go here to the plateau of the productivity, but it didn't happen. And I tell you why, but when it came, Ladybug for Dynamo came out, and we kept the development, but at some point we needed like visualization stuff, which wasn't there. And then like there was other stuff going with the Ladybug thing, and I was thinking like, this is not gonna work this way, we have to change this thing, these are not, and you know, that was the point that I picked up with Butterfly. So okay, the Ladybug thing doesn't work, let's do Honeybee and Butterfly, and you can see it on GitHub. So this is the timeline for the Ladybug thing, and then you have a cut here, depression. This is the Butterfly one. So as a result of that, Butterfly came around. So what is Butterfly? Butterfly actually has a long story. It's a project that I developed once with the university, which I'm not going to name right now, but they never released it open source. So you know, it was just, even if they do it now, it was so old, and I wouldn't even want to release it. So I rewrote that thing now with a couple of great people, mainly Theodore Canales, who lives in Malaysia, and he's the head of the sustainability team there. So the thing is, like, it connects Grasshopper and Dynamo to OpenFOAM for running CFD analysis. You can see that this one is in Grasshopper, that you can live while the analysis is running, you can see the result of the CFD simulation. So if it's converging or not, and anything. Where Butterfly is now, Butterfly is in the validation and testing. It's not like the engine is already validated, OpenFOAM is validated. What we are validating is the default boundary conditions that we are setting up for the model to make sure that everything that we're sharing with the building industry is working fine. So the workflow is working, but if you're using it right now, you should make sure that you know boundary condition good enough to check what we're using. And we were lucky enough that a number of PhD students in offices picked up on Butterfly, and now they're doing the testing, and they're sharing the results with us. These are some works that Theodore has done with Butterfly recently. But one of the thing that's possible when you have the same API is now, and it was a challenge for me to keep up with the development on the Grasshopper side and the Dynamo side and the core library, is because now you have the same call from different interfaces. Now what you can do, you can auto-generate basically nodes and components in Grasshopper. So what happens here, this is the Butterfly components on Grasshopper side. This is this component that you just do, like say go, and as soon as I say go, it basically ports everything to the other side, which is Dynamo, and then you get the same component in Dynamo. This is basically is not, I thought this is going to be more useful than only for myself. So this is, I wrote a minimal library, I called it diffpy, which basically from any structure you can generate Grasshopper nodes. You need just a JSON structure that has input, output, and what is the Python code that you want to run in Dynamo. Your Python code should work. It's not like I make the Python code to work. But you run this thing, and as soon as you run it, you get all the nodes created in Dynamo. Okay, so what's the plan for 2017, which is subject to change always, is the first one is we do the public release for Honeybee for Dynamo, and I tell you why we didn't in a second, and Honeybee Plus for Grasshopper. The first public release for Butterfly for both Dynamo and Grasshopper once we make sure the boundary conditions are set correctly. We're working on cloud integration, and that will be part of the development pretty soon. Full integration with Revit and Revit analytical model, which depends on the API, which is actually the reason that Honeybee is not like out there like publicly for Dynamo. And finally, it's not finally actually, get current Ladybug and Honeybee developers to port their code to Ladybug Plus and Honeybee Plus. Because I was changing my mind a lot, some people get a start, like Chris, started coding and like they couldn't do it now, so that's important to make sure like all the other developers will start porting their stuff. And start kind of redeveloping the Energy Plus side of the Honeybee, which we don't have there. Okay, I know like like the time is over too, but I need your help for one thing. And if you think the Honeybee for Dynamo should be there. And this is that. So by design, the Revit API doesn't give you the windows from the room. And I already tried different ways of convincing people to give that to me. And it's not happening. I already wrote code. I already tried different ways, but it still breaks. And there is a component that goes from room to zone, which if you have that, then you can take a Revit model, all the rooms, and have Honeybee zones. And when you have Honeybee zones, you can have all the things that I showed. The way for that to happen, I posted an idea on Revit Ideas, and this is the link. I need you to go and vote that up, so hopefully, and I do. I never actually ever asked anyone to do this, but this is critical because now we have all this development here on this side, you know, and then we have all this Revit model here, which has all the information, but then we don't have a way to access to that easily, and because of that, all this thing is just like waiting there. The reason I didn't release the Honeybee for Dynamo is because I knew if I do it, the first component there is room to zone, which takes the room and generates zones, and that will break. And then I will get an email, like or 10 emails every day, oh, this thing breaks. I know, this is gonna break. I can't solve it. This is the way to get it solved. Thank you so much.